If you're looking to upgrade your 2000 ringgit laptop from your Maggie eating college days, then maybe you should check this out. This Lenovo Ideapad 5 is fashionably sized at 14 inches to fit your work tote bag. It even turns into a tablet for you Gen Z hipsters who prefer writing to typing. Not typing where I'm from, typing, which is what you should be doing. So the Ideapad 5 is priced at 3,759 ringgit with an AMD Ryzen 7 8845HS processor with 8 cores and 16 threads. You also get 16GB of DDR5 memory and a 512GB PCIe Gen 4 M.2 SSD. There's a lower-end Ryzen 5 processor with the exact same RAM and SSD specs for just a little less. The RAM is soldered, but you could swap out the M.2 drive for a larger one if you get a bonus at work, or just get an external drive like all my non-bangsawan friends do. Also, because this is 2024, we need to talk about AI. This new Ryzen 8000 series laptop processor reaches a total of 38 TOPS of AI computing. 16 of those come from the dedicated NPU. So if you want to start experimenting with AI-enabled applications at work or in the bedroom, you can. Not like that. Right now, out of the box, for those who work from home or remotely, you get AI video conferencing features like automatic framing, eye contact correction for you introverts, and background effects so if your house is messy, no one can see.
Yes, they can.
This laptop comes in two very respectable colors, Cosmic Blue like I have here, which is very clean and professional looking, or Lunar Grey to match your first day of work pantsuit. The chassis is a blend of plastic and glass fiber in an atas-looking metallic finish with a tiny bit of texture that catches feels, not fingerprints. Like I said, this 14-inch laptop is pretty light and slides into your bag as smoothly as you wish you slid into people's DMs. Build quality considering the price is pretty solid. There's very little flex on the keyboard deck, so you can rage reply your boss's emails after hours. A little bit of screen wobble that we can look past like office politics, and the hinges on this are very smooth too. Unfortunately, it doesn't pass the one-finger test, maybe 2 fingers. For the screen, we get a 14-inch 1080p IPS panel in a 16:10 aspect ratio, so basically a taller Full HD screen with a refresh rate of 60Hz because you'll all be reading emails, not playing Baldur's Gate 3. The glossy screen does increase contrast, but with a peak brightness of 300 nits, I wouldn't use it in direct sunlight. In the office, it'll be just fine. I expected a display with a higher color accuracy at this price point, considering how powerful the processor is for content creation, but this touchscreen and stylus combination gets ergonomic points because it's just so handy for taking notes in meetings and such. There's something about using a pen that feels more legit. Not to nitpick, but the stylus uses a quadruple A battery, which was not included in the box and also not sold in Mr. DIY, 7-Eleven, My News or Aeon. Believe me, I tried. A little potong steam when you buy something new but then don't have battery, cannot fully experience. The 2% of our female audience should know what I'm talking about. Don't cancel me, not I write one, and I write one.
Oi!
Also, not a big fan of this stylus holder that plugs into one of your USB ports because those are pretty precious on a small laptop like this. On a positive note, these upward firing speakers are actually way better than I expected. It gets quite loud with clearly defined mids and highs with a decently wide soundstage that sounds really good for listening to music or watching movies, though the bass is a little lackluster to be expected with smaller speakers like this. Here's a sound test for your reference. There's also a 1080p webcam for you COVID Zoom babies who need to keep your webcam on. But don't worry, there's a physical shutter that you can flip to give the creeps a slip. This is how the webcam looks and sounds like. Let beauty come out of ashes. And when I pray to God, all I ask is, can beauty come out of ashes? The keyboard is pretty nice to type on with full-size letter keys and quiet key switches that have a decent amount of travel to help prevent typos. The up and down arrow keys are half-size, which is a little annoying, like younger siblings. Also bad news for you accountants, no numpad. Sorry. The touchpad is quite large though and tracks well, but the clicks feel a little sticky. Oh, and there's a little fingerprint sensor off to the side. In terms of connectivity, we get 4 USB ports, 2 Type A and 2 Type C, which is plenty for a laptop this small. We also get a full-size HDMI 1.4 port that is off the older side, but who has a 4K 120Hz projector in the office anyways, or 8K? Other than that, we do get a headphone and microphone combo jack, along with a micro SD card slot for what, I don't know. And of course, there's Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. Now, as a consolation for you accountants, let's take a look at the numbers. This Ideapad 5 is the first laptop with an AMD Hawk Point processor that we tested. All these benchmarks were done with the laptop's power mode set to performance in the Lenovo Vantage application. Looking at Cinebench numbers as expected, from a raw performance perspective, the Ryzen 7 8845HS is going to perform largely similar to the slightly older 7840HS, which is to say excellent, especially in multi-threaded workloads. However, I've seen slightly higher multi-core numbers on laptops with a beefier cooling solution like the Ideapad 5 Pro, for instance. For content creators, from these Puget bench tests, I can tell you that this Ryzen 7 again is going to perform largely similar to last gen, which is to say a little better than the Blue Team's Ultra 7 processor. As for working with 3D, this laptop is decent for lighter workloads, but you should really get a laptop or desktop with a discrete GPU. In terms of AI performance, I'd say that this new Ryzen 7 with the slightly beefed up NPU performs a tad better than last gen. Again, this could be affected by cooling and power limit. I'd have to test more devices with this exact processor to find out. For gaming, the Radeon 780 Mi GPU in this processor is nothing new. Looking at 3D Mark tests, it's really quite commendable no matter if it's running older games with DX11 or newer ones with DX12. I mean, we're looking at super playable frame rates in Shadow of the Tomb Raider up to a 1080p, or even in a newer title like Ghost Runner 2. I really enjoyed playing games like Diablo 4 on smaller laptops like this, which it definitely handles just fine. Look, I'm your father. We're talking about 47 FPS in Cyberpunk 2077 in 1080p on a laptop without a dedicated GPU. Of course, you can also definitely play competitive titles like Valorant on it despite that 60Hz refresh rate screen. Finally, because this is a work laptop, let's talk about battery life, thermals and acoustics. We get a 57 watt-hour lithium polymer battery with an advertised 9.5 hours of battery life that is pretty close to our test, so it should be enough to get you through your workday. For charging, this laptop ships with a 65 watt USB-C power adapter that's smaller than the palm of my hands. Seriously, you can just put it in your pocket. It does support rapid charge boost, so you can get up to 2 hours of use after just 15 minutes of charging. So the Ideapad 5 draws up to 55 watt in adaptive mode and ran very cool, except getting a little warm around the bottom during our AIDA64 stress test, all while staying very silent. When you switch to performance mode, power draw peaks at 68 watts, which actually made the laptop warm up quite a bit more during heavier loads. However, the fans only got slightly louder, so I think keeping fan noise down was the priority here. To recap, here are the pros, nes, and cons of the Lenovo Ideapad 5. I give this laptop a hashtag cheap buy, tiny but mighty, and not too heavy for daily carry, 8 out of 10. Us younger millennials and you legal age Gen Zs care a little bit more about style. Nobody wants to carry around a large laptop in a backpack that they got for free in the PC fair. That's more Ajushi style. Having a tiny 14-inch laptop like this with such a powerful processor, along with a touchscreen that can last a full work day, is just a dream. And this tiny little brick barely weighs anything, so that's a bonus. I do wish that they will give us a higher accuracy screen so we can actually edit photos and videos on this better, but it is what it is. In my opinion, along with them impressive speakers, outside of work, I think the Ideapad 5 is very good for watching movies and also listening to music for you working adults or you, more Bangsawan students. And that is everything I have to say about this laptop, so leave a comment down below if you have any questions regarding it and I'll try my best to reply to you. If you do find this video helpful, don't forget to like and share, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that notification bell harder than you hit the gym. And don't forget to follow us on TikTok, Facebook and Instagram for more shenanigans from the Mob House crew. Again, my name is Bangsawan Sheng, and I will see you tomorrow, in the next one.